everyone, welcome back. My name is Jen, and this is your weekly astrology where I take the transits happening in the sky, weave them into new psychology and neuroscience research, and then we usually close with some sort of spell or ritual just to kind of anchor in the energy for the week. And we're going to need it. We have 10 transits happening this week. 10 in just 1 week. I did tell you last week that things were really going to start to feel fast, and we are finally here. The water has almost completely burned off from all of that Pisces water. So grab a pen, grab a paper, keep track, watch again if you need to. This week's theme is going to be around honesty before a new beginning. So the question that's coming to mind is, am I actually living my life, or am I just a supporting actor in someone else's? The sky this week has a particular quality to it. We have the most concentrated Aries energy in over 1,000 years. This hasn't happened since 879 AD. We can't even imagine what life looked like back then. And then Saturn hasn't been in Aries since 1999, and it's starting to kind of settle into Aries over the last few months. So we're really starting to feel that Saturn and Aries energy pop up. And then Neptune hasn't been in Aries since 1875, so a long time ago. And this week, Mercury joins the group. It is the last inner planet to join all of the party in Aries. We have a new moon in Aries as well, and the sun in Aries is seated right next to Chiron, the wounded healer. So it's going to be an intense week. I'm not here to give you astrology that is going to make you fearful. That is never my intention. That is honestly never useful. I can't really stand when astrologers do that, because at the end of the day, we have personal power and we have free will. I actually don't even think this week is going to be scary at all. The word I want to use is purposeful. It is going to be necessary for us to get onto that new timeline that we want to join. And even all of these hard aspects are intertwined with some of the softest aspects known in astrology. So it's just going to be powerful and it's going to be beautiful. Things are going to start looking so different here soon, if they haven't already, especially when our final outer planet, Uranus, moves into Gemini on the 26th, so next week. He is the last outer planet to make his big move into the next long journey in a new sign. And he is much happier in Gemini too, by the way. So this is going to be good for all of us. Uranus is in what we call a fall in Taurus, meaning it's been working against its natural expression for over 7-8 years now, 2018. So it's going to feel, I think, like a big relief for all of us. Okay, so here's what we're working with. Let's break it down step by step. Let's start with Monday, April 13th, because this day has two very distinct energies running at the same time, and how you choose to meet the day will shape how it unfolds. Mars conjunct Neptune at 2 degrees Aries. I want you to think of this transit like a psychedelic trip. The energy is potent, it's kind of otherworldly, and your mindset going into this day is everything. If you meet the day with fear and dread, it can spiral in that direction. If you meet it with openness and gratitude, it can feel deeply, deeply spiritual. I want to say it's almost like a portal on Monday. So for my sensitive people, you know who you are. I want you to be really intentional about the interactions today. Energy vampires are really loud during this transit, so just really protect your peace if you are sensitive. And here's the beautiful thing, like I said, on Monday, Venus is making a sextile to Jupiter at the same time, so kind of a harsher, unpredictable aspect, and then this beautiful sextile. Venus is in Taurus, Jupiter is in Cancer. This is one of the most warmest, most generous aspects in astrology. It's open, it's abundant, it's lucky, it's socially flowing. So while Mars conjunct Neptune might make the morning feel just a little intense, a little, maybe even a little foggy, just kind of unpredictable, Venus sextile Jupiter is sitting right alongside, bringing that warmth and grace into the day. So start Monday with gratitude. Start it with what already, feels good in your life. Maybe you wake up 15 minutes earlier than you need to just kind of really get grounded and centered in that beautiful energy that you want to put out. And put something on that makes you feel comfortable, because with everything kind of building in the sky this week, everything gets more and more charged as we go through the week. So the energy that you bring into Monday morning has a way of carrying throughout the entire week. So just an important day. We're going to start Monday the right way. We're going to start it with gratitude. Like I said, it just kind of feels like a portal energy. And honestly, I just wish I could do mushrooms and play hooky and lay in the grass, lay in the sun all day and just go on my own little journey. Very beautiful day if you choose to see your life in that light. Tuesday, April 14th, we have Mercury that is still in Pisces at 29 degrees, making a sextile to Uranus at 29 degrees Taurus. We talked about the 29 degrees last week, the anaretic degree. It's the very last breath before everything shifts. It can be very karmic and very intense. And here we are again. Uranus is still sitting at that exact same charge, 29 degrees. Last week we had Mars sextile Uranus at 29 degrees. This week we have Mercury making that same exact contact. So last week was more about that deep, under the surface desire unexpectedly popping up. And now we're working with unexpected downloads coming through. Mercury is the mind. Pisces is the spirit world. So we might get some sort of like life-changing ping or download that comes through on Tuesday. Write everything down today. And I mean everything. The thought in the shower, the thing that comes to you in the car. And it's going to feel so random, because Uranus is in the mix and it's a very unpredictable, random planet. But just please write it down anyway. You think you're going to remember it and you'll think you'll be able to put the pieces together later, but I promise you probably won't. So just write it down. I don't think anything that comes through on Tuesday is random mental noise. This is spiritual guidance stepping in through the cracks of your ordinary day. Pisces rules the subconscious and the connection to the spirit world. Uranus rules the sudden revelations, right? So together on this day, in these powerful 29 degrees, the information coming through is important and it will resurface in late June. Quote me on that. I'm going to come back to this transit because June, Mercury will be conjuncting Uranus while they're both in Gemini, and this random Piscean download will make a whole lot more sense by then. So write it down. And then on Wednesday, April 15th, Mercury enters Aries. Mercury has been in Pisces since early February. That is a long time. The retrograde kept it there well past its welcome. Mercury doesn't like to be in Pisces because it's just so heavy and it makes us really tongue-tied. I'm so over it. I'm so happy for Wednesday. And we're probably already feeling it too. Like we can have like faster, quicker conversation. I think Mercury in Pisces is beautiful for intuition and spiritual downloads, poetry, all those really beautiful elements, which is exactly why Tuesday is going to be so potent, because it will still be in Pisces, but it's just not good at like clear, direct thinking. And so I'm just ready for it. Mercury in Aries is a completely different experience. The mind sharpens, the words come faster, and Mercury is joining quite the party in Aries right now. So we have Saturn, Neptune, Chiron, the Sun, Mars, they're all there. If the conversations you've been putting off or ideas that you've been sitting on because you feel kind of unclear about them, Wednesday should become a little bit more clear on the direction and conversation you want to take. I think we're all going to feel some relief with this just because Mercury has been in Pisces for just so long, like too long with that retrograde. I think we're all just really over it. So beautiful day on Wednesday. Thursday, April 16th is going to be a big day for us. We have two transits happening and they're working together in a very constructive way. First, the Sun conjunct Chiron at 26 degrees Aries. Chiron is the wounded healer, and in Aries, the sign of, identity, self, Chiron has been sitting there since 2018, doing quiet, slow work on wounds we carry around who we are. So whether we're allowed to be seen, whether we're living, a life that actually belongs to us. 2018 has been an incredibly painful time personally in my life. I was completely drowning in self-sabotage habits and just kind of sacrificing everything I had to everyone else's comfort. But it was also the year I started my therapy journey, which has eventually led me back to school now and, getting my master's. So Chiron is known for where we hold our greatest pain and our greatest gift at the same time. He will be leaving Aries next year. So the next few aspects that come up are going to be tied around the theme of healing, something that has kind of started since 2018. The sun illuminating Chiron today brings that into light. So it might bring that pain that may still linger kind of up to the surface a little bit again. But remember, pain that gets named loses its power. So the moment you can look at the wound directly and say, this is what happened, this is how it really shaped me, it stops running the show from the shadows. There were 2 psychologists at the University of North Carolina who followed survivors of some of life's hardest moments, just the deepest pain that we could feel as humans. And they found something that really even surprised them. So as many as 89% of people reported real positive transformation after adversity, which is not surprising, but they had stronger relationships, deeper appreciation for life, a clear sense of personal strength, new possibilities that they couldn't see before. And it wasn't despite of what happened to them. It was through honest process of sitting with it and looking at it directly. They called it post-traumatic growth, the idea that struggle, when we actually face it rather than bury it, can reorganize us into something more whole than we ever were before. The wound becomes the teacher, and that is so Chiron, the wounded healer, the teacher. That is today. And this feels very much like, I want to say, the devil card in tarot, if you're familiar with tarot, the image of someone breaking free from the shackles and realizing the shackles were never actually locked in the first place. You could have stepped out at any time, and the only thing keeping you there was the belief that you couldn't. So since Chiron is in Aries, the question today is specifically around identity, around the self. Are you living your life, or have you been living someone else's version of it? Have you been shrinking to fit a space that was never meant for you? Now, on the same day, Mars makes a sextile to Pluto, and this is where Thursday gets really, really powerful. Mars sextile Pluto is one of the most focused, determined, unstoppable energies in astrology. Pluto rules what lives beneath, the depth and transformational, the psychological part of you. Mars in Aries is just pure drive. And when these two connect in a sextile, the energy that comes through is laser focused and does not stop. There is going to be just zero procrastination today. And I want to say something about that. Procrastination research shows that when we avoid something, it's almost never actually about the task. It is about the feeling that the task brings up, the self-doubt, the fear that you're going to start and it's not going to be good enough. Your brain registers that emotional discomfort and it pulls you away from it. And then it tells you it's because you don't have enough time, or, you'll do it tomorrow. Our brains are such tricksters in that way. So it's not laziness. It's your nervous system protecting you from that feeling because it doesn't want to have it. And 9 times out of 10, that feeling is connected to exactly the kind of wound that Chiron is pointing at today. So Thursday, with the Sun conjunct Chiron, making that wound visible, and Mars sextile Pluto giving you that deep laser-focused drive, is the day to go straight at the thing that you've been circling. Your nervous system is going to want to try to pull away, go anyway. Thursday is the day both of those things are on the table simultaneously. The wound is visible through the Sun conjunct Chiron and the unstoppable drive available through Mars sextile Pluto. It's just a really deep work day, the most complex project that you've been avoiding because it just feels too big. Thursday is the day you stop waiting to feel ready and you just take it on head first. It's going to be such a powerful, motivating day for you. No procrastination, no self-pity. The power is going to be just right there with you. Friday, April 17th is the centerpiece of the week. We have two things happening. Mercury conjunct Neptune at 2 degrees Aries early in the morning. And then we have the new moon at 27 degrees Aries later that day, sitting right next to Chiron. Lots of Chiron energy. So let's first talk about the Mercury conjunct Neptune. After everything Thursday asked of you, the honesty about your life, your wounds, and then that deep focus to just get it done anyway, Friday morning arrives with an incredibly soft, receptive, almost mystic quality to it. Mercury conjunct Neptune in Aries is very dreamy and visionary. Your thoughts feel more connected to something larger than your ordinary mind. Intuition is very sharp and the veil is super thin that day. And I want to speak on something really specific here because with all of this fire energy building, 7 planets in Aries, some of you are going to feel it as overwhelm. Mercury conjunct Neptune in the sky is going to be your answer to that. There is neuroscience research on what happens to the brain in the first 30 to 45 minutes after waking up. Scientists call it the cortisol awakening response. And what happens and what they found is this window is the brain's peak receptivity window. Neuroplasticity, the brain's ability to form new patterns, is at its highest here. Your emotional processing is at its sharpest, and your capacity for insight and creative thinking is at its most open. And here's what makes this especially interesting for the women in my audience. Research shows that women actually have a stronger cortisol awakening response than men do, particularly on days with higher demands. But because women's hormones fluctuate throughout their menstrual cycle and throughout different stages of their life, the quality of that morning window shifts as well. Some mornings it can make you feel really strong and energetic. Some mornings it will feel a little bit quieter and, not as strong. So I want to offer the idea of some form of morning ritual that you can do every day, regardless of your cortisol awakening response. I wake up an hour earlier than I need to every single day. I make my tea and I go sit on my porch and I just let the morning be. And it has been so sacred. I think about my dreams the night before and connect the dots. I give gratitude for everything I have in my life, and I listen to the birds and the wind and just kind of slowly wake up so I can start my day from a place of power. Mercury conjunct Neptune on April 17th is a transit asking you to kind of lock in a practice, to make room for yourself in your own life before the day starts asking anything of you. With all this Aries fire around us, this morning ritual, in my opinion, is not really optional for a lot of us, at least for me. It's just so much intense energy that I need something to hook onto. I started mine back in 2019 and I still practice it to this day. Now, the new moon. The new moon at 27 degrees Aries lands later on Friday and it is conjunct Chiron, which means this is not just a regular Aries new beginning. This is a healing new beginning. New moons are always a fresh start, but this one has Chiron right beside it, which means the new beginning you're stepping into this week asks you to bring the wound with you, to start anyway, to take the first step without waiting to be fully healed first. Because here's the truth about healing. It doesn't happen before the beginning. It happens inside of it. The research on post-traumatic growth showed that transformation doesn't come from avoiding the hard thing. It comes from moving through it. And a new moon conjunct Chiron in Aries is saying you don't have to have it all the way better to begin. What is the thing that you've been waiting to start until you felt more healed? Friday is the day you plant the seed, even if you're crying over the soil. We are moving forward with our pain, and it's going to be okay. It will eventually transmute into different energy. Let's get up and let's keep going. Set your intentions on Friday. Do you hear that bird? Saturday, April 18th, Mercury makes its sextile to Pluto. This is a day after the new moon. You set the intentions, you named the moon and planted the seed anyway. And now Mercury, sharp, direct, freshly in Aries, is making contact with Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto rules what lives underneath the surface, and in a sextile with Mercury, that Pluto energy comes through your mind and your voice. Your thinking today has a quality of cut through clarity. You can see to the bottom of things, all the way down to the bottom of the ocean. And if you need to have a conversation this weekend, Saturday is your day. This is a very persuasive energy, not in a manipulative way, but in a way where the truth of what you're saying carries through. People are going to feel the depth behind your words today. Just one note on this, with great persuasive power comes responsibility, so use it with integrity. Say the true thing. Mercury sextile Pluto rewards honesty, and it has a way of exposing anything that isn't. Sunday, April 19th, Mercury conjunct Saturn at 7 degrees Aries. This is your last major transit of the week, and it has a very specific job. Mercury conjunct Saturn can feel a little resistant, like you've been pushing against something kind of immovable. So Saturn is the planet of structure, discipline, consequence, time, and Mars is the complete opposite. It wants fast, it wants quick, let's go. And Saturn is always just going to be there to be like, no, not yet, not like that, with more intention. You got to be more intentional. So Sunday might feel a little frustrating, to be honest. It's not bad, it's just a little irritating, a little slower than you would like. But it is asking something of you. And I think that is a particular task that you've been avoiding, not the complex project that we talked about on Thursday. This is the other thing, that really annoying administrative thing, the really boring thing. So do it on Sunday, just get it done, get it off your list, because here's what Mars conjunct Saturn actually offers you when you work with the energy. The frustration itself becomes the fuel. Channel that irritation into one thing that will actually relieve it. This is very alchemist energy, and I would just keep to yourself most of the day if you can. Just do your thing, keep your energy sacred, get some of those things off of your to-do list. It'll make the day feel just a lot less irritating that way. I think that's all of it. Before we get into the ritual or meditation, we're doing a meditation today to ground our energy. I want to leave you with one more thing. The word April comes from the Latin word aperia, which means to open. That's where we get the name. The ancient Romans named this month after the act of opening, because it was the season when the earth itself opened back up, when flowers opened up and everything that has been closed and protected throughout the winter finally let something through. And because April was considered so sacred to Venus, the god of love, beauty, and desire, some historians believe this month was originally called Aprilis, named directly after Aphrodite herself. The Romans filled the entire month with festivals dedicated to female deities, the earth goddess, the grain goddess, the goddess of blooming plants. April was preoccupied with divine feminine energy, the fertility, and the kind of openness that comes after a long time of holding everything in. Now, here's where the psychology steps in. Openness to experience is one of the most studied traits in personality psychology, and what the research consistently shows is that people who are open, who are willing to look at things differently and try things that they're kind of unfamiliar with, report high levels of authenticity. And authenticity is directly tied to well-being. The more honest you live, the better you actually feel. And I think about all of this for this week. Monday asks you to be open to the energy you bring into a new day and how that choice has a ripple effect moving forward. Tuesday asks you to open to the quiet downloads that come through when you're not kind of forcing a narrative or thought. Wednesday is opening our minds back up, right? Mercury in Aries, releasing us from the Pisces fog. Thursday asks you to open to the wound, to name it, and to find out it has less power than we've been giving it credit for. Friday's new moon asks you to be open to new beginnings that don't require you to be fully healed first. Saturday asks you to open your voice and speak with the full weight of what you know. And Sunday is asking you to be open to frustration, to stop resisting it and let it transmute into something useful. All of the transits are just asking us to be so open with the different types of energy this week and just flow with them. Let them come, even if they're negative emotions. The ancients already knew. They built entire sacred calendars around it and dedicated festivals to the month of April. They even named the month after it. That's where we get April. And I think there's something really comforting about that. The thing that this week is asking you is not a new demand. People have been answering this call, this openness of April for thousands and thousands of years. Okay, so I want to close a little differently this week. We've covered a lot of ground today. There has been a lot of information, a lot of transits, 10 transits. So there's so much energy running through our bodies. And I think the most honoring thing I can do right now with this new moon in Aries with Chiron is to give you a moment where you can actually feel into it all the way. So I put together just a short guided meditation for you. If you're driving or somewhere where you can't close your eyes right now, just save it and come back to it. But if you can, find somewhere comfortable, light a candle if you have one nearby, and just really allow yourself to arrive. It should be about 8 to 10 minutes. This is for the week ahead and for you to feel completely open to whatever the week brings for you. Thank you, as always, for being here. I am just so grateful for anyone that is watching and listening. And enjoy this 10-minute pause. And I'll see y'all next week. Find a comfortable position wherever you are. Close your eyes. Take one breath through your nose. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take another. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and hold. And exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let your shoulders drop. Let your jaw release. Let your hands soften. You don't have anywhere else to be right now. This moment belongs entirely to you. Bring your awareness to your body. Feel the weight of it. Feel where you're making contact with whatever is beneath you, the chair, the floor. Allow yourself to be fully present in this moment. You are here. You are safe. Now I want you to think about what you've been carrying. not to judge it, not to analyze it, just to acknowledge it. Maybe it's a wound around who you are, around whether you're allowed to take up space, to be seen, to live the life that is actually yours. Think back to 2018. Where were you living? Who were you with? What were you doing for work? What did you believe about yourself? Really allow yourself to be there. Now think about what has changed since then. What looks completely different? What have you walked away from? What have you walked towards? Who have you become in the years between that person and this one now? What is still the same? Maybe a wound, a pattern, a story about yourself has followed you from 2018 into this moment. Let it be present right now. Don't push it away. Don't try to explain it or justify it. Just let it be seen. Now bring your awareness to your hands. Rest them on your lap with your palms facing up. Slowly close them into fists, squeezing gently. Feel what you're holding. This is everything you've been carrying. Everything that has felt heavy. Everything you've been gripping onto. The wound, the story, the version of yourself. Feel the tension in your hands. And now slowly open them, spreading your fingers wide, palms open to the sky. Feel that release. Let's do it one more time. Close slowly, feeling what you're holding. And open, let it go. Leave your hands open, palms up for receiving. Now bring your awareness to your chest, to the center of it. Imagine a rose there, closed, every petal folded tightly inward, protecting something soft at the center. And with your next breath in, imagine the outermost petals beginning to soften, just slightly. With your next breath, another petal softens. And another. Imagine the rose slowly opening petal by petal, one breath at a time, nothing forced, nothing rushed. Just a little more light reaching the center with every exhale. You don't have to fully be healed to be open. You just have to be willing to let one more petal move. Stay here for a moment with the rose, with the opening. Take a breath and feel that opening just a little bit more. Now I want you to think about one thing you're ready to begin. Something you've been waiting to start until it felt more ready, or you felt more whole to begin. Let it come through your mind. See it clearly. Feel what it would feel like to take one step towards it. Just one. This is your new moon intention. This is the seed you are planting. Speak it to yourself now, either out loud or quietly inside. Say, I am opening to. Let that land. Now bring your awareness back to your breath, back to your body. Feel the ground beneath you. Feel the air around you. Take one more full breath in. And as you exhale, let everything you've been holding that is ready to go just release. You do not need it anymore. It has already taught you what it came to teach. When you're ready, slowly begin to open your eyes.